And we are live, everyone. Hello. We have just finished the
Hello.
results of Benidorm Fest. Good evening to all, or shall I say, happy Wednesday to you, Yana and Samuele,
Yes, it
from where you
was.
are. It's just about Tuesday for me here in the UK. And yeah, what a set of results we have just seen. Let's go to some of the comments from here. Lorandi saying, not gonna lie, a bit disappointed with the performance of Alice, Sophia, and Fozza. Maybe nerves were quite high there. Hello to Sarah O'Halloran. Sorry they were playing a bird game. You're always doing something weird just before our live stream, Sarah, and we love you for it. Lorandi going back in the chat with Aritz, Agoney, and Megara had good performances. So there were 9 songs that competed tonight, and obviously 4 of them are through to the final on Saturday. The vote was 50% jury, 25% demoscopic jury, and 25% televote. And we have a full set of results. And in first place was Agoney with Yana, please clarify the song, please. Sorry.
Quiero, arder.
Quiero, arder. Just a trailer thought that forgot my mind. But yeah, Agoney came top of, I believe, the jury vote and the televote. He came second in the demoscopic. Yana, what are your thoughts on Agoney winning the night?
Yeah, I think he totally deserved it. Like, when I was watching his performance, I was like, okay, I think he has it. He was so self-confident on stage. Sometimes it was even a little bit too much for me, like during the performance. But I was like, okay, it's just his personality as well. So he has to do it like this. I mean, I don't know. It was really, I think it was really good in general. I see why people love this so much. I think he was also one of the fan favorites from the beginning. So his vocals were quite good on stage. I mean, we had this problem tonight that some artists were a bit shaky and insecure. He wasn't. So yeah, that was a big plus for him. So yeah, I think he deserved to win.
Just before we go to you, Samuele, I'm aware we haven't actually said who the 4 qualifiers are at the start. So yeah, so Sarah, that's a fair question. So first place was Agoney, second place was Alice Wonder, third was Fusa Nocta, and getting through just by the skin of their teeth was Megara in the end. So they are the 4 qualifiers. We'll go through them one by one. So back to Agoney. Samuele, what were your thoughts on the performance?
First of all, hi to everybody. Thank you for joining us and for watching our live. So yeah, Agoney was actually one of the strongest this night, both vocally and performance-wise. I think that he nailed it. Of course, there are some things that I think he has to work on a little bit more. In general, I have to say, but it's my personal opinion, in this semifinal, I didn't quite enjoy the camera angles in general, but I would say that this is not so relevant as the performance was. So Agoney was for sure the best tonight. Vocally speaking, he was on point, as he is always. Many of us remember him from Operación Triunfo back in 2017, if I remember correctly, and we remember him as a really good singer and performer. So we were expecting something like that, and he nailed it. And I would really be, okay with this going to Eurovision. Is Eurovision friendly? Is pop? He is a good performer, and I think that the televote would be really would devour it a little bit, but yeah, I liked it, and I think it deserved first place tonight.
Absolutely. This was one of my favorites going into the night, and probably the best performance we had this evening. I really enjoyed how complex it was, yet how it flowed throughout. The dancers were very good. Lighting was great. And at the end with the fire, and
But yeah, I
it's,
love that.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, the fire
Yes.
made just
Yes.
everything pop. And it was such a brilliant complete package. It was really thought out. And I said from the beginning, Agoney was my pick to win this whole thing. Tonight, with the results, I think has shown that he's a very strong contender to potentially go all the way and win it all. Going to some of the comments here, Mr. Eurovision, hello. So happy that the 4 songs that got through. Lorandi saying a bit of disappointed overall. Agoney is not surprised though. Aritz had the best staging for me. We will come on to Aritz. Just for people that have joined late, so the qualifiers were Agoney, Alice Wonder, Fusa Nocta, and Megara. People might get sick of me saying those, depending on how many people ask. And gotta love this comment here from Hanka. Thank you very much. So, and actually, yeah, just with Gaga. Hello, lovely to see you. Very happy that Agoney winning both the jury and the televote. Yes, he won both of those. He came second in the demoscopic with let's just say a slightly surprising winner for that one. I'm sure we'll come on to that in the end. But let's talk about our second qualifier, who did very well points-wise as well, came in second overall with Alice Wonder and Quisiera. I would definitely say, of all the performances, it stood out for all the right reasons. For example, didn't have a dance break, which is literally, I think, the only song that didn't have one. And there was just something so simplistic about it compared to all the chaos, sometimes justified chaos, of course, of all the other stagings. This was really stripped back. It took us back to a moment. And regardless of my thoughts of the song, which are not, I'm not a massive fan of this song myself, but the actual staging, the moments it created, I can definitely see why this was in the final. Yana, what were your thoughts on Quisiera tonight?
I mean, she definitely stood out, as you already said. We had a slow song, we had a ballad. It was like the only kind of ballad in this show, so everything else was up tempo. And she also had an advantage because it was a slow song. She didn't really have to move, so she had more power for her voice, for the vocals. Because the others were quite exhausted or out of breath. She wasn't, because like she could just stand there and was still amazing because it totally fitted the song. And it was really dreamy. I really like the staging with the clouds in the background. It's not my favorite song. It's a little bit too slow for me, but it was really beautiful. Yeah, the setup was really nice.
Yeah, and just to follow on from that, there was something so haunting initially, definitely with the vocals, that you couldn't not listen. It was like you had to, even if you don't understand Spanish like myself, you connected with every word that she said, every accent she put on. Samuele, I know you are a massive fan of this song. Please expand on your thoughts.
Yes. There is a comment by Larindi that has a question about Alice. So I wanted to start
Yeah, go for it.
this. Yeah, that's it. Do you think that Alice was eating notes or not? Because I was left confused till the end. So first of all, I was confused as well because, of course, I love the song. She actually has the song that I think is the best musically speaking. I love ballads. I'm a ballady boy, as you know, Harry. I'm a ballad
Yes.
boy, and I love ballads. And most of all, if they are heartfelt and in the native language of the artist. So in this case, it is heartfelt and it's in Spanish. So I love it. Also because I can understand the lyrics. But tonight it was a little bit I would not say underwhelming, but I would say that it was different from what I expected. Because first of all, the first portion of the song, she was really, how can I say, really in line with the studio version. So she was pretty much similar to the studio version. She sung pretty much in the same way the studio version was. But in the second portion of the song, I felt that she was actually losing breath a little bit, and she was actually losing a little bit of energy. So she managed to actually cover up the big and high notes with slower tones and with almost a male voice in some portions of the song.
Yeah.
And it was interesting. It was super interesting. It was super dope, but it left me a little bit confused. And in many and I can say, and I can understand the comment, because I was also asking myself, is she hitting notes? Is she actually being a little bit flat or out of tone? So I would not say she was out of tone. I would say that she changed it because she was a little bit tired, most of all in the second portion of the song. But this is my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree that it lost a little bit of the magic in the second half. There was still some great moments. I would say that an overall theme tonight is there's a couple acts that, whether they got through or not for future performances, need to work on their pacing and breathing when it comes to performances. Because a lot of acts lost steam by the end, whether it was a dance song or a ballad. And yeah, whether they qualified or not, it varies. But yeah, they just need to work on it, improve. They're clearly new singers, a lot of them, so that will come with time. A few comments on Alice. Matt Gaga saying Alice definitely not my favorite, but vocally one of the best of the night. Hello to AM Rift Key. Rye Bailey in the chat, clearly loving the show this evening with his thoughts.
No,
Lee
but I
Fern, hello. Go on.
no, nothing. I wanted to answer to who was that, right? Very disappointing semifinal. We I would not say that it was disappointing, but we had really high expectations because I think that we are, considering Benidorm Fest as one of the best selections so far we have, at least this year. And from the expectations that we created from last year, we were expecting something spectacular and impeccable. Of course, there was not, at least not everything was perfect, and it's okay. It's light TV, and that is why we love it. But yeah, it's not that it was really disappointing. At least for me, it was different from what I expected. And in many cases, as Harry was saying, many of the artists are really young or at first experiences, so it's okay to be nervous first time in a really big scenario, in a really big environment like a national final for Eurovision. And if also it's a not just a national final, but it's also a music festival, because Benidorm is not just a national final, it would be also a Spanish music festival. It's also more pressure, and it's like in Sanremo, for example.
Yeah, I would agree. So we go on. Actually, before we do, let's say hello to a few people. Vincent F, hello, and Vladimir, hello from Skopje. Lovely to see you, as always. So we've discussed Alice Wonder and Agoney, if you are just joining us on the stream, and we move on to our third qualifier, which people may be slightly worried that this only came third because it is a fan favorite amongst the Eurovision community. The odds-on favorite, according to Eurovision World, Fusa Nocta with Mi Familia. She did qualify, but maybe not as convincing as people would like. Jana, what were your thoughts on
Yeah, I
Fusa
think
this
she
evening?
mostly qualified because of the song itself, of the studio version. I mean, it's a fan favorite. It's like the fan favorite. The streaming numbers were so high. People love the song. I was a bit disappointed tonight, but mostly because of her vocals. I mean, the performance was pretty cool, I have to say. The staging was cool. It was quite dark, and I like her outfit and the car on stage, the dancers. That was pretty cool. Also, I like the beginning with her hair. That was like really fitting to the story. But then some of her vocals were so shaky. I think she was also really nervous. So, I mean, she can definitely improve. She can work on it. So maybe it's getting better, hopefully. But I think the song is amazing. So I would say she deserved to qualify.
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, I loved the beginning. It was so interesting with the hair and traveling along. Sadly, for me, that was the high point of the song. It all sort of went a bit downhill from there. If anyone watched our Benidorm Fest review of the songs with me, Yana, and Clara a couple months ago, people will know I'm not a massive fan of this song from the get-go. But I will admire the fact that there is a concept here. There's an idea which I think could be expanded on, and it's a good concept. However, the execution's not there at the moment. Fozza's vocals are not as good as they need to be, and at times she was one of the acts that lost energy as the performance went on, and you could really tell by the end that sadly it almost felt like when she was singing she looked like in physical pain, which is not as much as you might there's some sort of pain in the song. You don't want to look like that as you're delivering it. There were just times where she needs to work on her physical presentation of how she performs it. I will say though, love the dance break. I thought that was fantastic. Very fast pace and very good movement. Really enjoyed that part. Samuele, what were your thoughts on Fusa Nocta?
First of all, I have to say that for me, Fusa Nocta has currently the best, song for Eurovision, I would say, because it's perfect for Eurovision. It's Spanish, it's ethnic, it's pop, but at the same time, it's modern, and it's in a way catchy, but high catching. The performance can be eye catching, and not only that, also the music. But it's truly Spanish. It's Spanish, but also Eurovision content. So it's perfect for Eurovision. And I have to say, even if it's not my favorite, that it could do great things on the Eurovision stage. But at this moment, it is not a winner. It is not Benidorm Fest winner. She has to work a lot on the vocals. We knew that she was not the best singer also before. She was not the best singer. But if she moves a lot, if you move a lot on stage, you need to have breath control and you need to have, vocal control. You have to know that. And not knowing that makes you not professional, not suitable for Eurovision and not suitable for big stages. Because when you know your capabilities and your limits, you are a professionist. When you don't know them, you are not. So at this moment, I would say no. I have to
Yeah,
be severe because, I am a casual watcher. I am not a music expert. I am no one. I'm just a blogger and a Eurovision reviewer, a Eurovision fan. But since I watch a lot of X Factor, a lot of, in general, a lot of music competitions, everywhere is the same. When the singer is young and is not a professional singer, at the end they will put a lot of things on stage, they will put a lot of effort, but a lot of things, and they will not have that kind of professionalism and that kind of energy to maintain them all. She's great, she's gorgeous, the dance break is amazing, the concept is amazing, the song is amazing, but it lacks a little bit of professionalism for me.
Very well said, Samuele. Go to the comments here for a bit. I was so shocked that Fusa flopped vocally on stage. Glad she still managed to qualify. Filbert, hello Filbert, said Fusa had the worst performance tonight. Sorry, not sorry. Larindi saying vocals not on point, car needless. I mean, to be fair, a car is always needless if there's no driving, but I get your point. Vincent saying Fusa struggled for air. Love her though. And Matt Gaga saying, love me familia and the staging, but the vocals need improving before Saturday. Yeah, I would definitely go.
Maybe Sharon can give her some aire, no? Some air.
Yeah.
I was just about to. I'll be honest. This is how unconfident I am with my Spanish. I was about to say Sharon can maybe give some, but I was like, air is that's definitely air, right? I was like, I'm fairly certain. So we now move on to our final qualifier. And let's be honest, Jana, both of us were very nervous by the end that this might just miss out. But thankfully, our rock hearts have been filled. Megara with Arcadia has just managed to get through. I mean, what can you say about? I think best opening of any of the performances tonight. My mouth just dropped when I saw that she was in this massive like cage contraption. Reminded me a bit of Melvin in 2018
or Blanca 2013. It was like
yes, exactly. And there's so much controlled chaos in there. There could be a bit more. I think at times the performance needs a little bit more energy, a little bit more pizzazz. But overall, I love the vocals, love the overall vibe. And I would have been very sad if this didn't qualify. Not just because I love the song, it's my personal winner of this selection. But for me, this is a very complete package and easily deserves to be on the final on Saturday. Jana, what are your thoughts on Megara?
Yeah, I'm also really happy that I qualified. And I mean, it's a rock song. Rock songs are usually better live on stage than the studio version. So I kind of expected that it would be really good on stage. And they really delivered, I would say. The vocals were really good. Like, my only problem was in the end, it was lacking a bit of power. But I mean, it's they did a lot on stage. She was moving around all the time. So I totally get that. And she can improve as well. But it was quite good. Like, in comparison to Fusa, it was much better from the vocals. It was really interesting. Also, the staging design, the lighting, and all the colors on stage, because I think their genre is like fuchsia rock, and they had fuchsia colors on stage, so that was like super interesting. And I think it's also like their brand color, so that totally makes sense. The outfits were like super futuristic. Yeah, super interesting in general. I really liked it.
Yeah, and Samuele, what are your thoughts on the performance tonight?
Well, as you know, Harry, I really don't like rock. It's
We've
not my
blocked that
genre.
out, Samuele. We've blocked that out,
Oh.
but carry
I don't really like rock. Like I like, how can I say? Like I am not super into rock, but if it is a good rock song, I might enjoy it, like with what happened with Maneskin. But
Yeah.
in this case, I didn't really like the song. Like it is not for me. It's not my cup of tea. I agree that is great, but it's not my cup of tea. So I would not listen to it, and I would rank it pretty low in my Eurovision top at the end. But I have to say that this night they had one of the best performances. I have to admit that the performance was great. I have to say that I would scrap completely the dance break. It's horrible. That just that part for me is not visually appealing, but it's for me. I have to say this. Like how do you call the thing in English, like when you have to to dance on the steps. Um,
I'm
did
not
you, did
sure.
you
Oh, as in on the beat? Do you mean on the beat? Like,
No, that she was like
Oh, I know what you
then
mean. Yeah, I know what.
I
Yeah,
don't
yeah, I don't know.
it's like a game that you do in the
Mm,
arcade. Like
yeah,
oh yeah, I can't remember what the game. Comments, if you could help us out, maybe let us know
no,
what
I
the
don't
arcade
know, I
game
don't
is
know
called.
I know what you mean though.
lap machine, lap machine. In Italian
Mm.
is lap machine. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay. Vabbè, that kind of thing is, I don't know, it's like completely outside what maybe the song is about the metaverse. I understand, like the social media, and that's it. But I don't know. I didn't particularly like, visually speaking, because I'm talking about like the visuals, because since the song is
Yeah.
not my cup of tea, I have to, you know, I say what I think about the visuals, and I love that. Just that part, it was a little bit, I don't know, but it's a complete package, as you were saying. The rock fans are going to like it. Many casual viewers are going to like it. So I am happy that qualified. I have to be objective here. My prediction was that Megara would, like, I would have swapped Aritz, and Megara, but at the end they were pretty much there. So yeah.
I
Yeah,
have
I,
to
I, I,
show this
like
comment.
the performance.
It's
I
like
like the
super funny.
performance.
It's really fitting. And yeah, there's like no drama so far. I'm really surprised.
I know. Well done, Spanish fans. Well done. You've lasted how long? 20 minutes. Well done. Let's keep it up. Let's go to some of the comments on Megara. Vincent F. Megara's performance was amazing in their eyes. Matt Gaga saying the main singer's outfit reminded me of something Lady Gaga would wear, so it was an instant qualifier for me. That's fair enough for you. Larindi saying Megara was pretty nice, deserved qualifier. Neil S. Hello to you, Neil. Megara is my winner, regardless of if they win the whole thing or not. I'll still listen to that music 100%. Ry Bailey keeping us up with the dodgy takes here. Not a fan of Megara. I don't like. I'm kidding, Ry Bailey. Don't worry. And yeah, that's all the qualifiers we have at the moment. Actually, no, one more comment here. Mr. Eurovision, Megara is a risk for Spain worth taking, as they have never sent anything like this and would be a moment at Eurovision. Yeah, when was the? I don't think they've sent rock
They should
before.
take risks. So yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, why not take risks?
So yeah. No. Continue, please.
All right, so basically that is all the qualifiers for tonight. So a recap: Agoney came in first, Alice Wonder second, Fusa Nocta third, and Megara in fourth. But of course, there were 5 other songs, and one that just missed out by, I
Can I
believe,
just say one thing before we pass to the non-qualifiers?
yeah,
Just a thing that Danny, that we say hi to him, is like actually our Spanish blogger, says on our group chat, because she is keeping us informed of the votes while we're speaking. So thank you, Danny. We can say that for the public, so for both the demoscopic jury and for the televote, Alice Wonder would not have qualified because she came fifth, I think, in the
yeah.
demoscopic, and
It was
eighth
5th in the, yeah.
in the televote.
I think it's the other way around.
Well,
8th
it
and
came
yeah,
fifth and eighth in the demoscopic and in the televote.
you are
So
right.
she,
Yeah,
if not for the jury that put her, the jury put her first, or no, second, she would not have qualified.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then,
It's a fair.
as we were saying before, Agoney was first both for the jury and the demoscopic, and no, jury and a televote, and second for the demoscopic jury. So he overall took the night because of the jury and the televote.
Yeah, absolutely. Very
Yo
well.
Quisiera is a
Done.
jury song, so I can totally see that. So
Yeah.
What?
it will do. Yo Quisiera, Alice song, is like a jury song for me. So it makes
It is a jury song, but I personally think that since Benidorm Fest is such a as like the international jury and the national jury works a little bit different from the international ones.
Yeah,
I
that's
think the international jury actually picks the song for Eurovision, whereas the Spanish jury picks the song for the quality of the proper quality of the song. So it's actually what in Sanremo the press jury does usually, while the international jury is more like is more. I think that the demoscopic jury is a little bit more in line with the demoscopic jury, a little bit, whereas the national jury is more in line with maybe the televote, but I don't know. I just think that they have two different ways of giving votes. The international jury being more Eurovision friendly, whereas the national jury being more, musically oriented, I would say.
Yeah, that's a fair statement on that. So yeah, as I was saying, we had 4 qualifiers this evening, and the one that just missed out, I believe it was by like 4 points in the end. It was very close. Was Aritz? Yes, Aritz with Flamenco. I would say that the performance for this one is arguably the most polarizing of the evening. Very much a fan favorite to do well in this contest and to qualify as well. But then the performance happened, and Jana, what were your thoughts on it?
So here's like the complete different way around, because like for Fusa, I said her song is amazing, but her vocals and performance was not so good this time. For Aritz, it's like the opposite way. The song is just mediocre. It's like nothing really special, I would say. Performance was amazing. I mean, we had the dance break. We know he's a dancer. He's like the backing dancer of Lola Indigo, so he has to be amazing. He has talent. He showed his talent as well on stage. Dance break, absolutely fantastic. Yeah, but also from the beginning, I liked the staging. It was really cool, really modern, also with the lightning and the red thingy he was in between. It was pretty cool. I like that. Yeah, the song is a bit slow. It's not that much up tempo, so he wasn't really able to dance all the time. That's why he had a dance break probably. But yeah, I see why he didn't qualify, probably because of the song itself. But the performance, he really gave his best. Like, yeah, he gave all the things he could do.
And Samuele, what was your thoughts on flamenco? Did your heart beat flamenco? Did it beat something else, or any?
Well, I just think that the song is named flamenco, but it has nothing to do with flamenco. Yeah, but it's my personal opinion. Yeah, I didn't really like the song. Yeah, when I first heard the songs back in December, was it like December? It was like my last overall. But later on, since many people were talking about flamenco being great, being so Eurovision friendly, and that's it, I started to to not like it, but to tolerate it.
It grew on you. It grew on you a
Yeah,
little bit.
it grew on me, but it was not up to the point I liked it. I adore it. It was okay for me. I expected a performance, and a good performance it was. So I expected it to qualify just because many people were talking about it. Many people were actually saying that he was a good dancer. So as Jana said, he's a backing dancer for Lola Indigo, right? She's a big artist in Spain. So low key, I wanted her in Benidorm Fest. But yeah,
Never gonna happen.
never gonna happen. Okay. As Aitana as well, but
This is your next best thing, sadly.
but yeah, I liked the performance. It's just that the song for me it's a big no, and so it would have honestly, guys, it would have done poorly in Eurovision. So
Yeah,
I think that there are actually better and suitable and most better suitable songs for Eurovision in Benidorm Fest, because we have high expectations and we have high quality in this festival. So
Yeah, song-wise, I totally agree with you.
yeah,
yeah,
why should we
absolutely.
send a mediocre song because it has a good performance? That's what I think.
Yeah, just going to the comments now. Lee Fern saying it should have qualified. Great
Yeah.
performance. Philbert, Aritz had the best performance of the night. The visuals and the dancing was so
Mhm.
good. Mr. Eurovision, on the other hand, slightly disappointed that Aritz. Oh no, hang on. He likes it as well. I just read the first
Yeah.
couple of words.
I think,
Slightly
I think
disappointed that
I
the
think a lot of people are disappointed.
a lot of people are disappointed. Yes. There's a few people that are not. So I'm gonna say this. About Aritz. So I purposely left myself till last. I was not impressed by this performance at all,
Mm,
for the simple reason that he did not sing half the stuff live. He relied so heavily on backing vocals throughout the entire performance, and all I kept hearing before this semi-final was, "Oh, Aritz is an incredible dancer. He's so good, an incredible dancer." I'm like, all well and good, can he sing? Because this is a song contest, not a dance contest. And that is
mm,
my perspective on it. He's a great dancer. He did so many good dance moves throughout this performance, but he had parts where he only had the backing vocal, where these were parts where anyone else would sing these, or not, or just ad lib, something like that. But and then even just during the dance break, which everyone loved, there was a full singing going on in the background. It's not like there was a designated dance break where he purposely could have done this. So at the end of the day, this performance just frustrated me. Uh, I was surprised it did as well as it did in the juries, considering how much he relied on backing vocals and how much he actually used his own ones. And I personally, I would, as much as I like the song, I think it's decent. The performance was not nearly enough good enough to qualify, in my opinion,
mm.
and it would have been a shame on some of the other qualifiers if it had. That sort of yeah, that's sort of my perspective on flamenco. It's slightly a harsher one, but trust me, it would have been a lot harsher if he had made it into the top four. So we've got. Thank you, Vincent. Thank you very much for that. So we've got a few other songs. I would just. We're not going to go through all of them because we could be here till 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'm aware people do have stuff to do. So I just want to ask each of you, from the 4 remaining songs we haven't talked about, what was your sort of main um, talking point from this evening? It could be about a song, could be about result, anything from the other 4 songs. So I believe they are Sharon, Sophia Martin, Meler, and who's the other one? Someone help me, please.
Okay.
Tuki.
Meler.
No, it's Twin Melody. Twin Melody is the other one. My apologies.
Yeah.
They are the other. They are the other 4. Yana, what was your like main talking point? What's the thing that's on your mind about these 4?
Yeah, what can I say? Tuki is my favorite song. It came last. So
Yes, came
I'm
last
really
with all
sorry.
3 votes, sadly.
I mean, I get it, but I love Sophia. She's amazing. She deserved it. Not today, not with this performance, but the song itself is so good. I listen to it every day. Yes, performance was not so good, unfortunately. And I think that she also noticed, because in the end, like when she was done, she was on stage, she looked so sad. And I was like, oh no. I mean, yeah. So
Oh, bless her.
she knew it already, I think. But yeah, her vocals were quite bad. She was quite nervous. You could tell. She was also moving a lot. She tried to do everything on stage, and it didn't really work out. But I like the choreo, kind of. Like, yeah. Well, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. Samuele, what's your key talking point from the other 4 songs this evening?
I would say that I really liked the performance by Sharon, actually.
Yeah,
It was honest. It was a drag queen, a really good drag queen performance. It was something that I expected from her. The change of dress, everything was on point. I think that her vocals were average, were quite good for the night, I would say. The song itself is quite dated, but I like the performance. It was actually quite amusing and funny for me, and it was even if it was a little bit dated, as you know, the song, it was a little
Yeah.
bit dated for me. It was a, you know, a little bit of fresh air. I don't know why. It was, you know, something that I expected from her. She's great. I love her. But it was a lot better than what I expected from her. So um, I liked it, and I think that people liked it too. But of course, it was not for Eurovision. It was not enough to pass to the final. But I
Yeah,
liked
and
it. I think that it was a really decent performance.
Yeah.
yeah, I'd agree. Going to a few comments here. Rich saying Sophia Martin shouldn't have been last. Poor girl. She was,
No,
yeah,
I
she
agree.
was last in all the votes. Bubble Pirate, on the other hand, hello Bubble. Tuki was weak according to them. Jen, hello Jen, saying Sharon did so well, so sad she didn't qualify. Beat Gaming actually said they liked Sharon's performance more than Skrillex in MGP. They're probably about on
I
par
think
for
both are
me.
great,
Yeah,
actually.
I think you know what I remember saying during our preview of Sharon's song, it doesn't matter if you like the song or not. It's pure fun, and you're just gonna have fun for 3 minutes when you're listening to the performance, and that's what she did. Look, were the vocals perfect? No, some of the high notes were good, and some of them were like treading on Lego. Let's be honest
Exactly.
about it.
Exactly.
But it
It
was
makes you
still
happy. It's uplifting.
it's uplifting, don't worry, Yana. We've also got another person here agreeing with you. Sophia broke his heart, loved it. My talking point from this evening is actually more a surprise in the votes, because obviously Agony won 2 sets of the votes in the jury and the televote, but then we had a
Okay.
surprise winner from the demoscopic
Yes.
jury with Meler. Now,
Oh
if we're being
no.
completely honest, Meler was the one that everyone was fairly confident wasn't going to qualify,
Yes.
and and the televote and the jury, respectively, both portrayed that as well. However, I do think that this wasn't a terrible performance by any means. Lot of fun, lot of upbeat. It was. It did justice to the style of song, and all that stuff. However, I just don't think the whole package with the song is nearly enough. Would have been nearly enough good to qualify, and I'm really shocked it topped the demoscopic jury. It's interesting how just these random jury sets can come up in any national final. It doesn't matter how certain or how in line you think your taste is with a certain country. It can always happen. It can always happen. And yeah, it would have been odd to see them in the final, especially with this bloodbath of a semi-final song-wise. Let's be honest. But yeah, you know what? I am happy Meler got their moment in terms of winning a set of jury votes.
Yeah,
Rich,
it was really unexpected. I have to say, it was
Meler,
unexpected.
yeah, Mitch saying he wants to find 350 fellow Spanish and ask them some questions. I think Twitter's the place to go for that, Rich.
Mhm.
Last time I
Yes.
checked. And now I'm worried about the demoscopic jury we'll do Thursday and Saturday. Well, I will say about that, at the end of the day, it is only 25%.
Mm.
And it still put Agony high. It still had. There was elements that were fairly similar to other ones. Not necessarily. Obviously, Alice Wonder didn't do great with that jury, but you know, it overall there wasn't a complete disparity between the demoscopic and the other 2 sets. So that was Benidorm Fest semi-final 1. I'm going to ask a question to you, Yana Samuele, and actually to you in the comments. I want to know your answers as well. Regardless of the results tonight, take those out the window. If you had to pick one song that you think would do best for Spain in Eurovision out tonight, not your favorite, would do best in your one word, what is the song you're going for, Yana?
I would say Quiero, Arder by Agoney.
Agony. Samuele.
Mm. I'm skewed right now because we watched the performances.
Obviously, you can't say a non-qualifier, by the way, because that's
course,
not
of
fair.
So, just the song.
The whole performance tonight, I would say,
Okay, the
because
whole
we've got to base it on that.
If it's the whole the whole performance, Quiero arder. The song, Fusa Nocta, still.
Mhm.
The song, Quiero. A couple of comments here. Neil S. Agony. Rich also going with Agony. Jen with Megara. Neil hates to admit it's Agony. Clabs, hello Clabs. We haven't got to you today in the chat. Agony as well. A lot of Vincent saying Harry Agony rhymes with nay. Is it? Are you just making fun of my Essex accent here, Vincent? Is that what you're? Look, yeah.
No, because Agoney.
Oh, is it? Am I?
Yeah.
Oh, agony.
Because if you pronounce agony, it means agony. You know, like.
Oh, okay. My apologies.
In Spanish, it's Agoney, but it's okay. I love how you pronounce it. By the way,
it's a very British way of pronouncing it.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Hey, you've got me on the show.
And that's why we love
saying,
you, Harry.
oh, thank you
that's
very
why
much.
We love you, because you're so British.
Yes, and Vincent confirming that is right. Rye Bailey saying Alice. Rich is also saying emphasis on the nay. Look, next time I say his name, I will say it correctly. Okay, I promise. Agoney. Is that right? Hello to Jess. She's just joined the comments. Jess, I don't know how you're joining us now. It's like 12:30. Go to bed.
Exactly.
If you're just joining now,
it's late for Jess.
Yeah. Well, it's the same time as me. Caroline just watched the Megara. I hate it. Prefer Agony. So Agony's your pick, Caroline. Lee Fern, Agony by far. And Jessica saying love Alice and Megara. They were both great. So that is going to do it for this evening. Hope you all had a great time. We've currently got over 50 people in this chat. That's fantastic.
Great.
And we've got a lot coming up. We're going to have semi-final 2 on Thursday. The next Eurovision act's going to be revealed on Friday with Ireland. First Super Saturday, Norway and Spain. Slovenia also being announced. So a lot coming up. Make sure to follow us on all stuff. I mentioned this yesterday. We do have a new podcast out on Spotify with me hosting. We have a few episodes up already. We've covered the free entries so far. We've got so much stuff coming up. Follow us on. Yeah, go on.
I have to say, we will have a lot of content on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yes, TikTok.
So
we've got a new TikTok as well.
Eurovox on TikTok, because soon, and I can make a spoiler a little bit, just a tiny one.
Yeah.
This week we will have the introductions to the Eurovox team's picks for Sanremo 2023. So this will be really interesting to watch. Please watch us on TikTok as well.
Yes, of course. TikTok. Yeah, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, of course. We're on all social media, so make sure that we are the home for all Eurovision content. We'll make sure to keep you provided with all updates and stuff throughout this Eurovision season, which is really just getting beginning, which is so weird because it feels like so much has happened already.
Exactly, because this week we have Benidorm, and then we have
Ireland.
Norway, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Next week we will have, like, if this weekend is Super Saturday, next week will be a super Saturday.
We're not. I think for my sanity, let's not even think about the 11th yet, and all the chaos that's going to bring.
First, it's really important to say that our team is there, and we are going to follow all the national finals for these 2 weekends. So you will be full. We will be filled up with content by us.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for watching, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you all, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.
Adios. Nos vemos.